Good evening, Bridgeport. Thanks for coming out tonight. Hi. This is our July 21st meeting. It is 7:15. We are called to order. Please rise and pledge the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Matt, roll call, please.
Councilmember Schenk.
Here.
Councilmember Hauk.
Here.
Vice President Gundrum.
Here.
President Al-Zayed.
Here.
Councilmember Nolan.
Here.
Councilmember Gamble.
Here.
Councilmember Cosenza.
Here.
Mayor Heil.
Ahoy, hoy.
Madam President, for the executive session from approximately 6:45 to approximately 8:45 with regard to a real estate matter as well as personnel matters. I'm sorry, 7:45.
Thank you, Mr. Bello. All right. First up here for council consideration, we have approval of our June 23rd, 2026 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Gamble, second from Ms. Hauk. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have authorization to hire Mary Guattari to the position of full-time finance administrator effective July 20th, 2026. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Motion from Ms. Nolan, second from Ms. Gamble. I do want to say that it's been an absolute pleasure working with you so far. We are very excited to have you. Thank you for training up on our programs and learning our staff and our programs and our processes and things like that. I'm sure Mr. Truman has some words to share if he'd like.
Thank you, President Al-Zayed. Yes, just very briefly, Mary came to us as a temp through a staffing agency, as a certified public accountant back in March. So she has been here for several months already. She has done an excellent job not only learning the position, but integrating into the staff dynamics. She's been a fantastic person to have around. She has shown a lot of work ethic, a lot of dedication to the job, and I'm very happy to be able to offer the recommendation to council to hire Mary Guattari on as a full-time member of our team. So thank you.
Wonderful. Any additional comments or questions from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, for one of the most exciting parts of the night that I'm looking forward to for council consideration, we have Resolution 2026-40 recognizing Charlie Klimas and Chance Gibbs for their recent success in our soapbox derby competitions. Do we have a motion to open the floor?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Do we, who wants to go with the presentation? Would it be? I have a resolution of the Borough of Bridgeport, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, recognizing Bridgeport residents Charlie Klimas and Chance Gibbs for their recent success in the Conshohocken Soapbox Derby and All-American Soapbox Derby World Championships, whereas the Borough of Bridgeport is and has been home to countless influential, dedicated, and honorable individuals, and whereas the Borough of Bridgeport takes great pride in being a part of the Upper Merion Area School District and great honor in being home of the Bridgeport Elementary School, one of the finest elementary schools in Montgomery County, and whereas on July 4th, 2026, graduating Bridgeport Elementary student Charlie Klimas and rising Bridgeport Elementary fourth grader Chance Gibbs participated in the 75th annual Conshohocken Soapbox Derby, winning first place and third place, respectively. And whereas by virtue of their racing achievements, Charlie has earned the title of Conshohocken Local Stock Champ, and Chance has earned the title of Region 8 Rally Stock Champ. And whereas such accomplishments have qualified them for spots in the All-American Soapbox Derby World Championships, at which they intend to race on the weekend of July 11th, 2026 at Akron, Ohio. And whereas the Borough of Bridgeport desires to honor and recognize certain individuals who have achieved inspiring personal accomplishments and brought great pride and esteem to the borough. And whereas the Borough of Bridgeport wishes to honor Charlie Klimas and Chance Gibbs for their accomplishments by way of adoption of their resolution at this public meeting held July 21st, 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough Council of Borough of Bridgeport officially, formally commends and recognizes the prizeworthy accomplishments of Charlie and Chance, and humbly requests that the entire Bridgeport community joins us in this recognition. Congratulations, guys. Do you want to come up for a quick picture?
And I would love it if we could get Councilwoman Cosenza and President Al-Zayed to take a photo with Charlie and Chance and their family.
You're the best. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have lots of exciting items to discuss, including the playground today, so you're welcome to stay, but also if you want to grab dinner and head home, you're welcome to do that. We thank you for joining us today. All right, next up here, we have a zoning hearing notice on Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at 606 Mill Street. Mr. Bello, is there any additional items I should be including here? Wonderful. You're welcome to come up.
If it may please council, my name's Eric Smith, and I represent the owners of 606 Mill Street. They received a zoning violation that they were operating an unlawful STR, short-term rental, in violation of borough code. We appealed that, and we are applying in front of the zoning hearing board for permission, a permit to operate this as a short-term rental on two grounds. One is that it's a prior non-conforming use. The second is that the borough zoning ordinance does not provide for short-term rentals in two fashions. One, it only allows for them as a special exception. And second, the borough's definition of short-term rental, I shouldn't say definition, it's not in the definition section, but it's in the actual section that allows for the use in the district, provides for, the language that's used really, it's not really a short-term rental, it's more like a tourist home, as might be known throughout the rest of the Commonwealth, and in case law. And I'll just point out the reasons why. And that says this has really nothing to do with the non-conforming use, and I'll go back to that, which is really the primary reason, the non-conforming use. But the definition, one, allows it only as an accessory use, but second, it talks about rooms for rent. Typically, a short-term rental isn't rooms for rent, it's the premises for rent. It also talks about that the entire dwelling can't be rented, also not typical of a short-term rental, more typical of something called a tourist home. And then the last item that makes it more like a tourist home than a short-term rental is that the owner of the dwelling must be present overnight. And that's more typical of a tourist home, which I will also say is a little atypical for this area. It's like something like maybe out in a fishing area or up in the mountains or something like that. There are some cases that talk about the differences. I won't get into that, I won't bore you with that. But that's the second reason, that it's exclusionary. It doesn't really provide for short-term rentals that is traditionally known. But the primary reason is non-conforming use. And I'll just go through a short timeline, and again, I won't bore you with the particulars, but my client is asking to continue this use. I'm not really sure what caused the zoning notice. My client never really was alerted to like a neighbor issue or noise or really anything like that. So I'm not sure what really caused it. I do represent a number of folks across the state on this kind of stuff. Usually it's a neighbor issue that causes the municipality to get involved, but here I really don't know. So in February of 2023, my client began using this property as a short-term rental. At that time, there were no regulations in the borough, no ordinances in the borough regarding short-term rentals. However, in that zone, R2, a group home was allowed and a bed and breakfast was allowed by special exception. So the borough's ordinances at the time recognized that a transient use, both of those being transient uses, group home and bed and breakfast, would have been appropriate in that area if the other uses would have been, if the other requirements would have been met. But here there were no regulations about a short-term rental at all. In November of 2024, my clients received a zoning violation back then about operating an unlawful bed and breakfast without a special exception. I was retained and I wrote back and I said, hey, your notice is defective, and it was withdrawn. And there was nothing since then at all. Until until just this past year, this year in 2026, when they were given notice. The first time that the borough had a short-term rental ordinance was November 11th of 2025. So they were operating from February of 23 until November of 25. The borough knew something was happening there, but never enforced, never really did anything, and they just went about their business. So, with that, that's really what we're going in front of the zoning hearing board for, primarily non-conforming use, secondarily, that it's exclusionary and for, that your definitions don't really provide for the use. I just want to mention parking. It appears that they have, it appears that they would have sufficient parking. They have sufficient parking to operate as a dwelling, for sure. But the definition, the parking is one space per bedroom, which really, again, is more like a tourist home, indicating that individual rooms would be rented. It's a 3-bedroom place. So tourist home would say room 1 is rented to Eric Smith, room 2 is represented to Mr. Bello, room 3 is rented by some third party, so 3 cars. But a short-term rental, typically, maybe it's 3 cars, but it could be 2 cars, it could be 1 car. It might just be 2 bedrooms. They got space there, they have off-street parking, and they've got a garage. So I don't think parking really is an issue. Again, I do not know what caused the citation, but I don't think it was parking either. So with that, that's what I wanted to present to Borough Council, and I hope it was helpful. And if there's any questions, I certainly would answer them.
Council have any questions?
Can we get a little, I'd like a little more detail. I think we have tried to, in terms of discovery, maybe this was during a rental inspection, or was this, Keith, is anybody aware of that?
I don't know. Steve has retired, as you know, and he handled the inspection that ultimately led to the notice that you received. But we can certainly find that out.
Obligation just to support.
So I would just have one question. Do you have any documentation, contracts, or other communications that show the commencement of the use and when?
I don't have them with me, but we
Sure.
do. I think they operated on Airbnb, like one of the websites. So I think they have it from back then.
Can you share it with me?
I can get you a copy, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah.
get it back to that as far back as they've got it. I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
So I'd like a motion to support or oppose or not participate from council? Are you inclined to do any of those options?
I would just point out, having worked on some of those ordinances, that I know that this came up. We don't know sometimes if there's something that's being rental. We talked about Airbnb and so you guys do, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just if we are affirmative, then there might be others that then we have to be affirmative for in the future because it would be setting a precedent. So doing nothing is an easier precedent than
Yeah, I
being
think-
affirmative. That's all. I just want to point out from my
I think
experience.
Sal can advise us on legal matters, but does council have an opinion?
I would say, I think that typically, I think more often than not, if somebody comes before us like this on a matter that's going to go to the zoning hearing board, we usually, unless we feel that the council or the borough has a real investment in the direction going one way or the other, we generally take we don't take a position. I think this is a matter that our zoning hearing board and their solicitor will probably look at in depth with whatever other documentation they provide. So my feeling would be we should, as a council, take no action on this, let the zoning hearing board and their solicitor figure it out, but I'm certainly not definitive on that.
And is that a motion?
Not yet. I was going to wait and see if there were any other commentary, but thank you, Mr. Bello.
If we're looking for a motion, I'll make the motion to take no action.
Second
Megan,
that motion.
beat me to it. I was just waiting to see if there's any other commentary.
I do have concern around community building. We are a small-knit community, and I think the idea of having transitional feels attached to buildings breaks that a bit if it tends to grow more. So that's just a thought that I'm having. I have no issue with people making money, but I have an issue with community having an effect on the community. Specifically, parking is obviously an issue back and forth. Just some of the thoughts that I'm.
And with regard to that, I'd only say that there is an ordinance in place now. Their argument is that they predated the ordinance. So it's a different argument. I don't mean to sway you one way or the other, but that's the distinction.
Okay. Do we want to go one by one then, since no one's speaking up? Does that?
I think we have a motion on to take no action, right?
Okay, sounds good. Do we have? All right, all those in favor to take no action?
Aye.
Or is there anyone with any different opinion?
I just want to say that, I mean, I know that it's kind of like a touchy situation, but the only good thing for me is knowing that when you host an Airbnb, afterwards it gets cleaned. So at least these are clean properties for the most part. I mean, we don't have slumlords like, renting dirty apartments and stuff like
That's a
that.
big
So
point.
that's like the one positive, is knowing that it's properties that are cared for because they're trying to sell them for their, their own benefit.
All right. Any additional comments? All right, all those in favor to stay neutral and take no position?
Aye.
I-
Is there anyone with different opinions? All right, the motion to stay neutral and take no position carries. Thank you. Thank you for
very
joining
much.
us this
Thank
evening.
you for everybody's time today.
Good night now.
Good evening. Good evening. All right, we have a stacked agenda today, so I won't take too long. Just wanted to thank everyone for coming out to Big Boy. We had a wonderful time. Thank you to all the police officers and fire departments and everyone that joined us. Thank you to all the businesses. I know we even had some businesses putting up, flags on cranes, which, extraordinary efforts to make sure that Bridgeport is beautiful and excited. We had businesses giving out food and drinks, and so just very thankful for everyone that came out and enjoyed that morning. Thank you to Jared specifically that came out, this Nolan's partner that helped us decorate that morning. Thank you to Dave and team for all of their work, and Public Works team that helped us secure the safety and the barricades and things like that. Ms. Gamble for a leading charge in all of it, and to Valley Forge Tourism Board for helping support us with many of that, and to the county for their sponsorship as well to the event. And to all of our readers, of course. They were wonderful. It was really great to hear, the little bit of the past, a little bit of the future, and what we're experiencing right now. I think it was a beautiful day, lots of great pictures, lots of great memories, and honestly very surreal personally to just watch it come through town. So thanks to everyone that came down. And Tim Briggs also came by, which was really great. It was exciting to have him, and some council members from Norristown as well. So just a great day all around. and wishing everyone a lovely summer as well. I just hope everyone's enjoying themselves and maybe getting to the shore at some point. All right, we can move on to our first item here for council consideration. We have Resolution 2026-41 appointing Mary Guattari as Borough Treasurer. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Schenk, second from Ms. Gundrum. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have a curb cut request of 502 Union Avenue. Council, you have these details in your packets. Do we have a motion to open the floor?
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Ms. Gundrum. Do you have a second to open discussion?
I'll second.
All right, second from Ms. Hauk. Questions or comments? Or Mr. Truman, do you have any thoughts about any of it?
I would only say that much like nearly every curb cut request that our zoning officer puts in front of council for consideration, this one is I would say should be a relatively easy approval. They have adequate. It's coming off the rear of the property. It's located off an alley. This is, I believe it's Oak Alley. So yeah, this fits all the parameters of a curb cut request that council generally approves.
Thank you, Mr. Truman. All right, do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2026-42, executing the funding agreement between the Bridgeport Community Fund and the Borough of Bridgeport for 2026 to 2028. That's the time frame. Do we have a motion to open the floor?
Make the motion.
Motion from Ms. Nolan. Do you have a second to open discussion?
Second.
All right, second from Ms. Cosenza. Any questions or comments from council or the public? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2026-43, executing a lease agreement between the Bridgeport Community Fund and the Borough of Bridgeport for the operations of Memorial Park 2026-2028.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Hauk, second from Ms. Cosenza. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have a zoning hearing for consideration of ordinance 2026-05, amending Chapter 560 of the Borough of Bridgeport Code zoning to add definitions and use categories, to amend permitted uses and regulations, and add a new section adding specific development standards, use regulations, and conditional use requirements in the general industrial commercial zoning district related to data centers. Is there a motion to dispense with the regular order of business?
I'll make the motion to dispense.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Gundrum, second for Mr. Schenk. Do we have any questions? Or we can just, I guess, go into the order of business.
Thank you, Madam President. This is the hearing for the matter you described. I'd note that I have 3 exhibits this evening. C1 is proof of advertisement of the hearing. C2 is the amendment itself and the various verbiage contained therein in exhibits. And C3, if I can get to it, C3 is a letter from the Montgomery County Planning Commission making recommendations, some of which were embraced by the borough and some of which were not. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Truman.
Mr. Bello?
Thank you, Solicitor Bello. I don't have much to add. I would state that, for the members of the public, our audience members, if you follow trends in municipal politics or just even, local scuttlebutt on social media, you've seen that there are rising concerns over the proliferation of data centers. not only in southeastern Pennsylvania, but in some of our neighboring municipalities and across the country. I know that Virginia and some other states have made regional news, national news on some of the concerns that they've had once they popped up. Historically, data centers have what little data centers existed, at least in the region, had been covered under the same use regulations as warehouses. However, as they develop and get more sophisticated, it's become pretty obvious to municipal officials that that is not necessarily the most apt fit, and that regulations and design standards and dimensional requirements for data centers should be carved out specifically above and beyond just lumping them in with rank and file warehouses. So to that end, you are seeing a trend with municipalities in the region adopting new zoning laws to govern, again, dimensional requirements, conditional use requirements, use regulations, development standards, and that is specifically what this ordinance seeks to do in order to regulate data uses or data center usage, future proposed data center usage in the Borough of Bridgeport.
Thank you, Mr. Truman. Is there any objection by Council President or the members of council to the omission of C1, C2, and C3?
No objections.
And for the record, to be clear, no objection from any council member. Is there any objection from anybody in the audience? Once again, for the record, there is no objection. Madam President, we just need a motion, and then we can return to the regular order of business.
Do we have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Nolan, second from Ms. Gundrum. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? You're welcome to come up and just please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, David Conway, 9 Borough Line Road. So I have 3 questions. The first is, I did read the entire draft when it was published. I'm just wondering, were there any significant changes, really any changes, let's phrase it like that, made between when it was first published and now? Is it worth my rereading it?
Yes, between the first publication and now there were changes. The second publication and now there have been no changes.
Okay, thank you. My second question is any member of the council aware of any intent or plans to build a data center in Bridgeport currently?
There are no inquiries that we're aware of.
Gotcha. And my third and final question is, when I read the draft, I was under, my impression was, and I just want to check that my impression is correct here, that power plants, or gas burning for power plants, or really any kind of on-site power generation would be for emergencies only and not for regular use. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I'm looking over at our engineer just to get confirmation of that, and he's indicated that's the case.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions. You're welcome to come up to state your name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Ann Buha, 214 Prospect Avenue. Could you just explain again where the general industrial commercial zoning districts are in Bridgeport?
Yes.
If you have a screenshot of where.
You know what? I don't have it delineated. We have put that up in previous meetings. Apologies. However, it's a relatively mid-sized zoning district that is basically think where the Mascaro transfer station is. And it is restricted to specifically that general area of where the Mascaro transfer station is, between Marion Street and the Dan Hauer Expressway.
Okay, and that's the only place in Bridgeport that is considered this general industrial commercial zoning district?
That is the only GIC zoned district in the borough. That is correct, Ms. Buha.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your questions. And do you know what we're talking about? Did we answer your question? Okay, great. Any additional questions from council or the public?
Just if you, is the zoning maps available on the Borough website, right? Or we can navigate to it through there?
Yes, it is.
So if you ever want to really nerd out on zoning, it is all available on the website.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the motion to adopt that ordinance. Motion is approved, and we can have a motion to resume our regular order of business.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Shank, second from Ms. Nolan. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, we are resumed. Next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2026-44, authorizing agreement between J.D. Ekman and the Borough of Bridgeport for kayak launch use and rebuild proposal.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Helk, second from Ms. Cosenza. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have presentation of our final design for Memorial Park Playground Rehabilitation Project. And Mr. Truman
I will bring that up right
show
now.
us.
That is,
I mean,
I have a combination of before, after.
yeah, it's a really nice one.
So, members of the public, members of council, this is an overhead aerial of the before imagery of the Memorial Park Playground. And you can see the large dimension. It's approximately 123 feet in width by about 140 foot in 135 foot in depth. We had the concrete that went into the rubber mulch to access our ADA swings. We had the macadam hump and entryway that went into our jungle gym. And then we had the pre-existing varying pieces of equipment, the merry-go-round, the swing sets, the other equipment contraptions that were there. Through the diligent efforts of the playground committee, which is comprised of council members Gamble, Cosenza, President Al-Zayed, members of the Bridgeport Community Fund, and members of borough staff and professionals. We would like to humbly present the revised, or maybe not so humbly, maybe proudly. Humility's a good thing there, Heather. We'd like to show just kind of give a review or a summary of what we're intending. You can now see that the footprint of the original park is still clearly delineated there. However, we're looking to reduce the overall footprint by about 50%. One of the end determinations that the committee came up with was the pre-existing footprint was awfully large for a playground, especially considering the John Todd lot, which is still in relatively good shape, is right there adjacent next to it. We saw the ability, I should say the committee saw the ability to reduce the overall footprint of the playground and really focus in on making that reduced footprint as attractive, enticing, and full of new, exciting, inclusive equipment as possible. And pardon me as I toggle back and forth between other imagery here. Here are several renderings of the equipment that we're envisioning here. I will just note that any of the sand color area that you see here, this is all going to be pour-in-place rubber surfacing that not only provides for ADA accessible pathway to all of the ADA accessible features or aspects or rides on this new playground, but in comparison to the predecessor's surface, again, no longer the hard concrete or asphalt that could serve to trip, could serve to scrape knees, things of that nature. Moving to a different angle, we're keeping the two pre-existing stalls of swing sets because they were just refurbished with the help of a generous donation from the Sons and Sisters of Bridgeport this past year. And after working with our consultant from General Recreation and thinking it through as a committee, the committee determined that it doesn't make sense to spend additional funds, exhaust additional funds on replacing swings that are still in very good shape. We have multiple pieces of new equipment here. We have this monkey bar contraption, as you see right here. We have the large new jungle gym, as you can see in this one, that also has shade aspects. And we have a new ADA accessible merry-go-round device over to the one corner. If any other members of the committee would like to opine or make comment here, I would love to pass the microphone to them. Otherwise, in short, I think we've obtained a grant funding through the local share account funding program through the state. That's casino revenues that are turned back over and divvied out through a grant funding program. We got a very generous grant award through that, and I think we've very prudently spent this money on something that is going to wind up being not only an improvement over the situation that we had at Memorial Park Playground, but just a real net benefit to the community.
I'd love to share a little bit more. Keith, if you don't mind going back to the overall imagery of the park. If you said it and I missed it, we did add macadam running parallel to the park in order to create a loop around the playground so that parents can safely keep eyes on their child and circulate fully around the playground area. One other change that we are proposing within this is that we are removing the fencing, which In this area, we're not concerned about children running into any traffic. We think it enhances the view and accessibility of the play areas and tries to connect the uses between the Todd Playground to the north and the new one that is proposed. This one, I think you can also clearly see the differentiation between the wood chips and the poured in place footprint, and if we had plenty of money, it would have all been poured in place, but we do need to be mindful of costs, and so that was a very judicious decision in that. And off to the left there, closest, Plan West, is actually a smaller play structure for those in the 2 to 4 age range. And then the main structure you can see in the middle there is more towards the 5 to 10-year-olds, if that's a little bit more clear. And then we're creating an accessible walkway also from the main perimeter walkway just directly onto that poured in place, so that we have full accessibility to all of the accessible elements within the playground. I think that the play structure to the north, kind of like an array of monkey bars, is a great opportunity for kids to do little challenge courses. And then we have a few other elements of swing, twisting, etc., that bring joy to the kids. So, and obviously, shade was a number one priority, and so adding shade to the structure was important to us up there.
Really nice job describing it. Any additional comments from council? Does anyone from the public wish to speak this evening? Yeah, you're welcome to come up. Name and address for the record.
Dana Thompson, I live at 416 Coate Street.
And is that the Bridgeport side or the Upper Marion side of
It's the
Coate?
Upper Marion side. And so my kids attend Bridgeport Elementary, which uses the park and the playground.
No, I understand. I just, hold on.
I'm
Are
the
we-
president, if you don't mind. So long as the decision that we've made time and time again is so long as it pertains to Bridgeport, I will allow it. I will also decide not to allow it unless you decide on a different president. Thank you.
Okay.
May
I love the
one-
shade.
I'm sorry, Dana.
Yeah.
That's my only role.
No, I'm just asking, is that a
Preside
president's
over-
decision or is that a vote that council makes? I want to be clear.
It would
don't
be
think you have to vote
subject to the
to
vote of council.
Would you like a vote?
I think we need to, if we're, generally speaking,
Great. Does everyone want to do? The motion would be to support my role as president and presiding over this, as you entrusted me to do so. Or are we trusting Kyle, that is not the president, to?
No, I don't think that would be the motion. I think the motion would be, should we allow a non-resident to speak at a Bridgeport public meeting, and who wants to waive that requirement that they cannot?
But does that not dabble into my role then? Like, what are the definitions of my
I
role?
certainly have no intention of dabbling it into your
I'm just asking the
role.
definitions, like what you're.
The definition is that unless she's a taxpayer in Bridgeport, she has no right to speak. So that's the rule, but you have the ability to alter that rule. But if a non-taxpayer has no absolute right to speak at a borough meeting, you can allow them to, but they have no right.
Okay. So my thoughts are, we allow people that have status to come speak. We allow organizations to come speak. If the governor came and wanted to speak, we'd also allow him to speak, kind of thing. So I'm not a fan of giving people rights because they're important. I think I want to give people the right to speak because we're American and we should be allowed to speak and share our opinions. In this case, I would like to humbly say that My rule that I have followed since the very beginning is if something pertains to Bridgeport, I will allow it. We can always tell them to stop speaking if we need to, if it doesn't make sense. We see it over time and time again in other situations. These children go to Bridgeport Elementary. They're active in the community. They volunteer at things. I don't see why it doesn't make sense to allow them to speak about a playground that their children will be playing at. But I will allow for council to discuss the item if they'd like to.
I have no problems.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, talk away, Dana.
So do we, look, guys.
Okay.
I'm
No,
not saying
I think
this-
can we just vote? Can we just vote, please? Okay. Do we have a for vote? Can we just motion to vote?
I think we would need a motion to,
Laura, do you motion, or was that the motion, or was that just a?
Motion to allow her to speak despite being a non-resident, non-taxpayer.
I'll make the motion to allow the non-resident to speak.
Second?
All right.
We'll second it.
Motion from Ms. Hauk, second from Ms. Gundrum. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Donna, thank you. Dan, thank you for speaking. You're welcome to continue your conversation.
Just a couple of brief comments. I love all this, and I love all the work that you guys have done over a series of years to put this together. I see some shade over the playground structure. I don't see any shade over the mommy benches. Mom wants to sit in the shade, so if that's possible, I realize there's very real budget constraints. And then, I love the swinging elements, things that allow children to move, things that are not steady under their feet are very beneficial to their vestibular systems and calming and development of all those internal balance and nerve pathways. So whenever there's an option, I love to see those things. Like I was at a playground last week where there were toadstools very similar to those, and several of them, rather than being on a post, were on like one of those coils that you see on some of the rocking toys. And so when you step on it, it moves. And anything where we can incorporate that kind of motion, I love to see. And I realize this is pretty far along in the planning process, so I understand if nothing happens. But otherwise, thank you, and this is great. I love it.
Thank you. So
I do want to share there are some of those.
Oh yeah, and I see the climbing net.
There are some seesaws here. That's the smaller children functional space there. Then a two-person, I think, seesaw down below, and then the spinny where the girl in the purple is, and then I think that functional, I don't know, sphere-y thing. Also, something.
I believe you're referring to the Wii Planet Climber.
Yeah, I think this. I think this is the balance components that you're looking for that help. Not exactly the toadstool, but yeah.
Awesome. I'll take whatever I can get. Thank you.
And I will state that while this project does call for the addition and installation of some new benches, there are some pre-existing benches that are adjacent to and covered by shade. So there will be some parental shade options interspersed throughout.
yeah, and we share the same. We had the same concerns and questions, and actually this had way more shade than the original renderings, believe it or not. But budgetary constraints were really limited, and we were really trying to prioritize accessibility, and the pour and play was so expensive on its own. So we achieved that. This doesn't mean it has to end. So not promising anything necessarily, but the idea for all of us is to continue to improve facilities. So we really welcome thoughts from you and others on how to improve. There are trees around the area, and we intend on planting more with time. As time goes, so that could also help a little bit. But it is a tough area being up on that hill and being, beaming with the sun on top of you. So I agree with you there.
Absolutely, absolutely. One other thing I would love to see is one of those mommy and me swings.
Yeah.
When you have little ones.
We tried. I'll say that. We tried.
Understood.
Thank you. All right. Are there any additional questions or comments this evening from council or the public?
I just want to add that I've been here for years, and there are so many things here that we've wanted to happen, and just the logistics of getting this done has been very difficult. So I really want to commend the park committee and the council for all of the work, because this is something people have wanted for a long time, and a lot of this stuff I've heard from parents who ended up leaving Bridgeport, and this is something that you'll be able to take credit for and just notice for years to come, even if you've moved and come back. So thank you for all your hard work on it. It makes a big difference.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hoyle. Do we have any additional questions or comments?
I have a question. So you're saying that we're consolidating it down and that there's now going to be more open space over
Yes.
here? What's our plan with that? Like, I mean, like, that's kind of a great idea to put like maybe some like umbrellas that people could put like a little towel out. and,
Mr.
like-
Bello is way ahead of us all and has some.
Stop.
grand
I was just
ideas.
waiting to talk. I had the idea first.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, just like a place for the shade, because that's I mean, my children are grown. I have two 21-year-olds, but I took them up to that playground in the middle of the summer for years. I've died. I've come back to life. So like any kind of relief up there is going to be great, especially, I mean, again, the sun is not our friend anymore.
Yes, agreed. And the original, if anyone does have a question about why we shrunk it in half, I know my initial reaction was like, oh my God, gasp, I don't want to reduce it. But I think I understand the value otherwise. But we were really on a tight budget, and I feel we got a ton of value out of the budget. And thank you to the Son and Sisters for donating. The swing sets, as an example, like those little incremental changes, including reducing the footprint, made tremendous progress in terms of getting the quality of park that we have now. The playground is high quality with accessibility and really well thought out plans. So reducing that footprint was something that was necessary to achieve that. Otherwise, we would have spent money on floors. Like that would have been the.
So a suggestion is maybe we look into some sort of permanent, like umbrella situation to put out there in that grass and offer it up to businesses to donate up there, because I'll buy one.
Okay, yeah, I mean, definitely, I think next phase sounds exciting and
It's
lots of
hot, it's
ideas.
hot.
Yeah, it is hot.
Speaking of that, could we work in sponsorships on the benches? Yeah. I'm sure, I bet we could get a couple people that would put plates on those benches.
Relative to the benches, Keith, I'm sorry, can you go, this is, this view rendering that is obviously not illustrative of what the current condition is at the park, right? And I think the benches were exclusive of Blaze's contract, correct? We were not including them. I think they're just illustrated here. Can somebody confirm that, Keith, maybe?
Yes, I don't know the last round.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that. But if we go back to the the site plan, and this is demonstrative of an image in the wintertime. So what we're not seeing is all of the shade of the trees, and that some of where we can be very intentional about placement to provide some shade.
So
What?
there won't be a fence, so we
There
can
is,
place them
correct.
back.
Yeah. And then I think what's great about having that open space adjacent to this play area is that if we ever do want to expand in the future, or for kids that just bring a ball up to the field and they can play in that area adjacent to it, because there's a number, I've seen plenty of kids up there playing soccer outside of the fence, and then if there's a baseball game going on, there can be more conflict. So this is an opportunity to just have some like active recreational play adjacent to it as a potential as well, so.
Awesome. All right, exciting things. Do we have any additional questions or comments? All right, we can move on to our actual vote here for council consideration. We have Resolution 2026-45, authorizing execution of proposal from General Recreation to provide equipment and installation for Memorial Park Playground Rehabilitation Project.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion from Ms. Cosenza, second from Ms. Nolan. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Are there any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, before we move on, I know that there's been lots of questions around timing. My understanding is early fall. Is that still generally the case? Just so to answer.
The General Recreation, our contractor, just informed us that the manufacturer from whom they would be getting, I believe, most of the equipment that we're ordering, even the week prior to this week, just implemented an additional backlog on when delivery dates were coming. So I think we're looking at late August at best for delivery. Late September at best in terms of delivery of materials, and maybe the last week of September into the first week of October in terms of commencement of the project. Did I say that correctly? Late September for delivery of the equipment, and then maybe the last week of September going into early to mid-October, commencing and ultimately completing installation of.
Thank you. And thank you to the Public Works team that have been working day and night to make sure that we are prepped and ready for that to go, so that as soon as some of the questions that we've also seen is why did we close the playground so early? It's because it's going to take us a long time to clean it up and get it ready to, again, reduce cost based off what we were just saying, so that we don't have to shell out, hundreds of thousands of dollars on bringing everything down, taking it all out. So they've been hard at work cleaning up the space and getting it ready for installation. So when the stuff gets here, immediately it gets installed, we open, and we are good to play. All right. Next up here for council consideration, we have authorization to engage in a 60-month contract with the Constellation Natural Gas for municipal natural gas supply. And do we have
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion from Ms. Campbell, second from Ms. Hauk. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? Thank you to Mr. Truman for
Mr. Truman, can you
taking care of
fix
that
the
for us.
screen?
What happened? What happened? Hold on.
Are we at all those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have the approval of bills and salaries for July 2026.
Pay the people.
Motion, Ms. Nolan.
Make a second.
Second from Ms. Gamble. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business anyone would like to discuss? All right. Do we have any committee reports this evening? Move on to committee reports.
Yeah, last night the Finance Committee met. It was myself, President Alzaid, and Councilmember Gamble, as well as Mr. Truman. It was a very quick meeting. We just discussed the 2026 tax increment financing district payment that is coming up, as well as staff contracts that are forthcoming as well.
Thank you. Any additional committee reports?
I'd like to share that the Small Business and Economic Development Committee met last night. It was Councilman Shank, Council President Alzed, and myself, Keith Truman, and Ben Roberts and Emilio from the members of the public, and Wendy from our business community. So the entire committee was there, along with Dr. Ray from the Business Association. We started the meeting with introductions with Front Seat Films, which is a business operating out of Bridgeport that does some phenomenal work throughout the country, with M. Night Shyamalan and Universal, Warner Brothers, many big names that we know. And we had a very insightful meeting learning about their company and potential future opportunities that could benefit the borough. And we look forward to making headway further in future meetings with them. And then we also took a look at the current business list that has been curated by staff here at Bridgeport, and are looking at some targeted business opportunities in the future. And we also got some updates on the business licensing that has gone out to all of the businesses. So earlier this year, we codified and increased the fees for the businesses in town to try and get better representation of who is working and doing business here in Bridgeport. And so we have started to get that feedback. And then we also started to look at and discuss the business corridor that we're continuing to focus on for development and property improvements towards the future. So it was very successful, and we continue to look forward to the future.
Thank you so much. I do want to say that I just want to give you a quick shout out for running this committee really lovely, in a really lovely way. It's become a real space where we are able to invite businesses into our committees and get updates. And I just want to commend you on the effort that you and Mr. Truman have put together in terms of inviting people to the space. We've gotten a lot of benefit both ways, and I'm excited to see what we will continue to do. We've already accomplished so much in, 6 months? So just a really nice job, and excited to kind of see the future, where the committee takes us. Are there any additional committee reports this evening? I know the Halloween committee met, our subcommittee met this month as well. We are really excited to kind of reshape the bar crawl as in terms of locations. So we will be inviting all the businesses to our next meeting. So if you want to have any input on that, you're welcome to join us. But that was really the main focus, as well as making sure that we have attendees and booths that represent nonprofits in our fall festival. So if you know any nonprofits that you want to see in town being represented, or clubs, or anything that you think would benefit the community, be sure to reach out, and I'm happy to connect you as well. All right, we can move on to the mayor's report. Mayor Heil.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to have a short report. Hopefully this month, I was proud to represent Bridgeport at the United States Conference of Mayors convening in Philadelphia. While there, I met mayors from Pennsylvania, Florida, Michigan, Arizona, and other states around the country as we reflected on America's 250th anniversary and discussed issues impacting cities and towns of all sizes. I also got this great sash, so if anyone wants a picture, always let me know. I'm always willing to share to wear the sash around town. I want to thank council, borough staff, police, and fire departments, including those emergency services from out of town, who assisted with the July 3rd viewing of the Big Boy train. We only had one minor health event, as far as I know, due to heat. The sash really sold it, I think. I got a lot of good comments from it. So that event was handled with great care and medical staff on hand. And when you saw some other events with the heat, I'm glad that we were prepared here. Thankfully, thanks to all those who were there. I was honored to be able to participate in the reading of the Declaration of Independence. I want to thank all those who spoke. I want to send a particular thanks to our friend Juanita Coover, who's a proud United States veteran. So thank you for organizing that, council, especially Councilwoman Gamble, for all the work there. Speaking of heat, I want to ask you to please check on your elderly neighbors when temperatures rise. It seems like every week we have a temperature over 100. If you're looking for other ways to help with extreme heat, donations of water to our fire departments are very welcome. We also have had serious air quality issues of late with smoke from wildfires. Please take those alerts seriously and try to stay inside on days with poor air quality. Sometimes we might not realize how important that is. Our next Founders Day meeting will be on Monday, August 17th, tentatively at Borough Hall. With so many other great events in town, we're exploring the chance to create a Bridgeport Founder Society to celebrate our history year-round. 2027 marks 250 years of Washington's encampments at Valley Forge, so we want to do more to bring in local business here in Bridgeport tied into the history. So if you'd like to be involved, please email me or message me through Facebook. Our Bridgeport National Night Out event will be here at Borough Hall on August 11th. We've confirmed no school activities will interfere on the state. It's a great family-friendly event, so you can message me or Officer Stead if you'd like to participate or learn more. I held office hours here last Thursday. I will also hold office hours this Thursday morning from about 10 till noon. You can always reach out to me to set up meetings or calls at other times that are more convenient. The last time I held office hours last Thursday, then it went to 4th Street, where Matt Mahoney's up for a lot of votes for his chef at 4th Street. So please follow along and support him for local businesses here in Bridgeport. Yesterday was National Pennsylvania Day. As we all have learned, as part of America 250 events, Pennsylvania was and remains crucial to the birth and success of our country. And of course, the best part of Pennsylvania is Bridgeport. Congratulations to Frosty Falls on a successful National Ice Cream Day this weekend. We still have some ice cream in our freezer, though. That's like I'm a month out from ice cream day, so we'll finish. Well, I bought a lot. Summer is often a time of rising cases of abuse, especially domestic abuse and other crimes due to heat, people being out more often. Please reach out to our police if you suspect a neighbor, friend, or loved one could be a victim of abuse. It's better to call and be safe. Thank you very much. That's my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief's report, Chief.
Good evening, Bridgeport. Wanted to say that looking over our statistics for last month, we had a 54% clearance rate by arrest, which is excellent, down from our super high exceptional clearance rates from the past months. But we constantly review statistics to look at how can we do a better job with policing, how can we clear cases. So all those details are constantly worked on. Just know that. We had flood and tornado warnings 3 times within the last, say, 30 days or so. Most recently, just today and Saturday. So we worked with Upper Merion Area School District for a possible backup to another reunification site. All things that you don't see that go on, but communications, if we see like there's a need or electricity is out one place or another. Those of us that have been around here long enough for the floods and everything else, it doesn't leave us, and it certainly didn't leave me. So I want to thank Upper Merion Area School District for when we found out that one location was unavailable Saturday at 7 p.m. that calling the superintendent of schools and the principal of Bridgeport Elementary School to make sure that we had a location just in case the improbable occurred, which it didn't. So thanks for the school district, thanks for the backups. On the 10th of the weekend of July 10th, it was Ices on the Chief, and 50 Ices were distributed to Bridgeport's kids. So I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I know it's been really hot, and any chance that we have to get a little bit of relief one way or the other, I'm sure is appreciated. When we deal with these heat and we deal with flood warnings, tornado warnings, all of the things that we look at and we put back out, we would just ask you to look at the Bridgeport website for the Go Bridgeport and sign up for notifications. Don't be the last one on your block. Be ahead of the game. Be a helpful neighbor because you're signed up and you're knowledgeable. That's helpful. To go along with that, our Emergency Operations Committee, myself, Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator Al Candela will be meeting tomorrow with Dave Nash to go over updates to the Web EOC program so that we're more up to date in our abilities to function so we can train additional EOC staff. Crossing Guard, Mr. Helsel retired from his post. I hope to be able to come to council hopefully for next month, and I believe I have a replacement for you and possibly the addition of another part-time crossing guard to fill those very critical roles that we have to protect our children. We have the Bridgeport Police Camera Program. Not so much with direct notifications, we haven't got much, but I would highly encourage everyone to call Bridgeport Police during a normal working hour, speak with PCO Dave Nash, to let us know if you have a camera, where it faces, your address, your name, email, and telephone numbers. I'm going to be assigning this program so that we can build this out more quickly. It's been languishing. These things help us. The crime it solves might not be yours, but maybe it's your neighbor's. So if you can give us this critical information, we don't have to repeat with searches for something simple like a surveillance camera. So we would appreciate it. If you think, please give us a call. We had a couple theft from motor vehicles. We had a group hit 200 Ross Road and one other location just at the outskirts, just inside of Bridgeport. Just goes to the simple adage of making sure that you please lock your cars. We have very few vehicles broken into. Most of them are entered because they were unlocked and something clearly, identifiably viable financially is there. So please just remember to do that. We've got a couple officers getting additional training to continue our DUI enforcement. There's more people that are intoxicated one way or the other on the roads, and I want to make sure we're doing a better job doing it. The A-Ride training is something that it goes in between the standardized field sobriety test battery, is what you saw on all the episode of Cops where the cop waves his finger in front of people and has them walk a line, right? And people fall over. So this is in between that and drug recognition experts, so that we can tell the difference because of the different things that are at play. So we have 2 officers going away for that. Our new chaplain, Rachel McAllister, I've connected her with Montgomery County Human Services, all of this human services, child abuse centers, Office of Aging, Children, Youth, and Family, and other chaplains programs to bring her up to speed on some training with people and professionals, so that we will get as much use with our chaplain and more use they can help for both the officers and our community. So we thank Rachel McAllister. I met with her today. Thanks for the fire police that have come out and supported our different efforts that they come out all the time. They're volunteers. They don't get paid to do this. And folks, they come out for all of our events, usually somewhere between 4 and 12, depending on the size of our events. So I just want to thank them for all that they do. And we have had complaints of motorized vehicles in the park. The park has been properly posted, including Memorial Park. Electric scooters, electric assisted pedicycles. All of those things are excluded specifically by definition from operation in our parks. People have complaining because of the speed in which they travel. And the park, although it's someplace that if you ride one, you might want to go to, please shelve your electric vehicle and maybe give it a rest when you're there, and allowing everyone else to get a little bit of a rest when they go to a park. A reminder that all of our parks are closed at sunset and open at sunrise, so that you're aware, just you're coming and going from the parks. And that's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Can move on to new business. Are there any items of new business to discuss this evening? All right, move on to open forums and announcements. We will be recognizing our May 2026 Employee of the Month. Congratulations to Angela Gear. Are there any additional announcements this evening?
I just want to wish everybody a happy ice cream month to all that celebrate.
Thank you so much.
And even if we have ice cream agnostics, we still love them.
Aardvark.
It was a Tamandua.
Speaking of Frosty Falls, we have July 25th, Christmas in July. Be sure to come down, free activities, cool vendors, ice cream.
There's going to be a Christmas magic show at 1:15 at 3:15. I'm so excited.
Yes, so hope to see you there. Additionally, we are beginning to fundraise for our back to school giveaways. Last year, we had about 300 kids show up. We were able to supply about 150 of them with proper supplies. So we're really looking to continue that effort. We have some great businesses that support us in that. But if you're someone that's interested in donating, I know I've had neighbors just drop off boxes of pencils and things like that at my door. So if you'd like to, be a part of change in Bridgeport, making sure kids have what they need before school, feel free to reach out to any of us, and we're happy to connect you. Are there any additional announcements this evening? All right, we can move on to public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment this evening? All right, seeing there are none, we can certainly, oh, I'm sorry, you're welcome, go ahead.
permitted to make a general comment?
You're welcome to speak.
My husband and I bought our house in Bridgeport 14 years ago. Swedesburg, if you want to get specific. So to some folks were, believe it or not, old timers, and to others were still imports. I've lived a dozen different places, and I've never seen a police department like the one we have in Bridgeport. Chief Bretta's always in muffins and Wawa, walking up and down 4th Street, greeting people like it's his job to make someone's day. Officer Stead is regularly walking the halls of the elementary school, handing out toys and smiles, and the idea that police officers are safe. Building trust is slow, deliberate work, and it's clear that this department is deeply invested in that work. So Chief Bretta, thank you for your leadership. We all know that trust is built over time and shattered in a moment. Right now, there are forces outside of any of our control that are swiftly eroding public trust in law enforcement. As has been widely reported, lawless federal agencies are violently and capriciously detaining our foreign-born neighbors without due process.
If we could get to like maybe the question of the statement, sorry.
Yeah.
Have it done.
Even in the absence of a 287G, there are many ways for police officers and municipal employees to aid immigration enforcement. Wondering if the police called ICE when your husband got a traffic ticket is incompatible with the sense of community and the type of trust that I see this department working so hard to build. And so I came to ask Council to consider a welcoming resolution that clearly defines the circumstances in which borough employees or police officers should interact with, participate in, or provide assistance to immigration enforcement. A clear enforceable policy assures Bridgeport's residents that yes, our police officers are the good guys. They are here to protect and serve, even if you weren't born here. And I have some model policies that are put together by the Pennsylvania Immigration Coalition and the ACLU of Pennsylvania. I ran out of time to print, but I have, I can show examples of policies that have been implemented in other municipalities in Montgomery County that I'm happy to email.
Yeah, I'm here to support my residents, however we need to support them. I'm sure that's a sentiment shared by others. If they're welcome to speak up if they'd like to. If you want to send us anything you have, I'm happy to read it and discuss it.
Okay.
And consider it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it to us. It's a sensitive topic that we're all, we really want to support our residents however we can. So thank you for educating us on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to add, as representing the force as mayor, that we've had many conversations, the chief and I, when incidents come up. You know me and what we've talked about as well, and I appreciate what Councilwoman Gamble, Councilwoman Alzayed, and others have done personally and publicly about some of these issues. Sometimes we want to make sure we don't bring attention. So sometimes I've been talking with other mayors as well about unified approaches, so we can always talk separately because you and I share a lot of the same concerns, just how to do things appropriately. So I'm always happy to talk when I need to separately.
Yeah, I've got, like I say, I've got resources that I can share for anybody who's interested.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Are there any other members of the public wish to speak to me? All right, we can certainly entertain.
Sorry, I'm reminded of that there was a detention in the past 2 weeks, and I'm just wondering if there's any update on that. And
There was a detention on East 4th at Holstein. In fact, I had officers double check the residents. I called ICE, spoke with them to see what the actual address was, and they actually had the wrong address, apartment number. And I sent guys out to one address. They couldn't find the right one. I sent somebody else out today. Because we're not political. I don't want people to see the police as political. I want you to see us as always there, always helpful. So non-politically, just looking at after, is there people at the house? Is there other people there? Were there pets left there? Just a simple, very basic stuff. So yes, somebody was detained, most likely because of an underlying criminal charge. I have yet to see somebody, for anything that I've heard directly from any organization, that either wasn't, the purpose wasn't to affect an arrest for something connected to someone who was here unlawfully and connected to some underlying criminal offense. That's what I've seen time in and time out.
And the fact that you had to call is evidence that it was not a coordinated event, but that officers are often having to follow up after the fact to take care of residents, and we're in communication about that to make sure that, especially when kids are involved, which thankfully was.
We do follow up. So whether or not we get notified if law enforcement will be in an area, in a town or whatever else like that, we always would follow up to see, because, again, whether you're left or right or whatever your inclination is, government, big or smaller, and how we work together, I would just want to make sure that that we're looking after Bridgeport in whatever way we can, and it could be simply as just double checking on something. A pet has no inclination. Other people don't have an inclination. If there's people at a residence, I just want to double check and make sure, is someone expecting someone to come home or not? And that way I feel that's on firm, solid footing and ground, and it's not political.
All right, thank you, Chief. Any additional comments? All right, we can certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
It is 9:11. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.